On the morning when we reached the airport, my friend was waiting to leave for a new job abroad. I watched him quietly, loading his luggage on the cart. He turned toward me. Though smiling, his eyes seemed a little wet. We gave each other a brief hug and exchanged a small promise. Walking toward the gate, he did not turn back. Wishing him well in my heart, I saw him off. Not turning back was probably the better way, I thought. My friend, having shared many years with me, was leaving to follow a new path. We had promised to keep in touch. Through the large glass window of the airport, I watched his plane depart in the morning light. The plane slowly rose into the sky. The future awaiting my friend seemed to spread beyond the clouds. I visited the home of the teacher who had guided me during my university years. It had been 10 years. He was the person whom students of my generation had respected most. He lived in an old house which had a quiet garden. The figure who appeared at the door looked much older than before, yet his eyes were the same as long ago. In his study, thousands of books stood on the shelves. Among them were some manuscripts that he himself had written. He recommended one book to me, saying, "This is the book which I wanted you to read when you were young." The book that I had wanted to read turned out to be exactly this one. He served me tea with the same gentleness that he had shown when I was his student. What I discovered was a bundle of letters from scholars with whom he had been corresponding for many years. Those letters were the source of his wisdom. Lately, I have been thinking about what is important to me. What matters most seems to be the essentials. What I had pursued for a long time was not always significant. What truly matters is the small meal with family, the call from a friend, the single book before sleep. What I must not lose are these small things. A friend once said, what you have learned through experience becomes the center of your own values. is what matters. I wanted to rediscover what would fulfill me. Friendship, quiet time, and what I myself have long treasured. These are what I hope to recover now. My grandfather worked for many years as the keeper of a lighthouse in a seaside town. That town was the place where he lived his whole life. Every night he would climb the stairs of the tower. He checked the lamp, wiped the windows, and when a storm approached, he worked through the whole night without sleep. Every summer I visited his house and looked up at the light. The moment when the lighthouse began to glow was the time when I most wished to be there. Once he revealed to me the reason why he had continued this work, so that ships that come back from across the sea can enter the harbor safely. He said, I often think of the way he guided sailors. Between my grandfather and the lighthouse was a long bond that needed no words. I could never imagine how many sailors his light had guided on stormy nights. A small concert was held in the town hall. Whoever came could enter with free admission. Whoever performed was warmly welcomed by the audience. The first to perform was a girl of 10, holding a violin. When she finished, however softly she played, every note reached the listeners in the room. Applause rose several times. Whichever movement she played, her tone was pure. Whoever listened could not help but admire the purity of her sound. That evening, the hall was more peaceful than I had ever seen, and people exchanged smile after smile with one another. This kind of place, whenever it exists, is a small community tradition that I want to treasure. If I were a bird, I would fly freely wherever I wished. In the morning, I would pass through the forest. At noon I would cross the valley, and at night I would sleep beside the stars. If I had wings, I would soar above the clouds. I would not feel constrained by the distance to faraway cities. If I were not bound to the ground, I would surely travel wherever the wind carried me. Yet now I stand on the earth. I am not a bird. I can only imagine. Still, to imagine is a small form of freedom. Looking up at the evening sky, I think if I were a bird, how deeply would I admire the sky? Standing on the ground, I still look up at the same sky. Imagination, embraces me instead.
If I had sent the letter that day, everything might have been different. My childhood friend had moved to a distant town. All I had to do was write a single word of thanks. A single letter would have been enough. If I had had a little more courage at the time, the letter would have reached her, and she might have remembered me for longer. But I did not put it into words. I hid my words away, treasuring them too carefully. When I realized it, I no longer knew the address of her town. If I had written that one letter, I might have been corresponding with her to this day. Long after, when I heard the news of her marriage, I tasted that small regret once more. I learned that a life can turn on the courage it takes to send a single letter.
The discovery of penicillin began with an accident. In 1928, in a laboratory in London, a scientist returned from his vacation. Alexander Fleming noticed that a strange mold had grown on one of the dishes left on his bench. Around the mold, the bacteria had vanished. How much the world would have lost if Fleming had missed that small observation. If he had not noticed that mold, many infections might not have been treated, and countless lives might have been lost because of wounds on the battlefield. That one dish helped open the age of antibiotics. Fleming's careful observation, followed by the work of many other scientists, eventually helped save millions of lives. If that chance observation had never been made, the history of science would have been utterly different.
What is the oldest tree in the world? Many people think of a great oak, but there is an ancient tree far older than any oak. High in the mountains of California, a bristlecone pine has survived for over 4,000 years. It is one of the oldest living trees on earth. The bristlecone pine grows slowly. Compared with other pines, it may add only a few millimeters each year, but it is far stronger. In the high mountains, the air is thin, the wind is cold, and the soil is poor. Yet such a harsh environment is what has enabled the long life of this tree.
within the wood. One has been found to be more than 4,800 years old. We cannot help admiring a tree that is older than many civilizations. It is among the most remarkable living beings, carrying silence and strength together.
On July 20, 1969, humanity stood on the moon. The Apollo 11 mission began after many years of preparation. Had it not been for Kennedy's speech of 1961, such a challenge to technology might never have begun. The moment Armstrong set foot on the moon, people all over the world watched the scene. His brief words became a gift to all humanity. Without the dedication of countless engineers, that moment could not have happened. Each person's contribution supported this single great feat. On that day, humanity began to write new history beyond Earth. This was a truly historic moment. After returning safely to Earth, the crew carried the memory of that distant world home.